Chicken breast is something that a lot of people don't get quite right. Most people know that it's important not to overcook it, lest your chicken breast turn into chalk, but I'm going to show you how to cook it perfectly. It'll have a crispy exterior and be moist and tender on the inside. I'm even going to make it hard on myself and use boneless, skinless chicken breast. We'll start by seasoning both sides of the chicken with a pinch of kosher salt. A couple of pinches of kosher salt, generous ones. We're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes and let the salt dissolve into the chicken breast, and this will give you a chance to do any other prep that you might need to do. After it's sat, we're going to get a small bowl and put a few spoonfuls of regular flour in it. We're going to sprinkle the flour onto the chicken and rub it into every nook and cranny on both sides, being careful to brush off all of the excess. This is going to leave us with chicken that is completely dry to the touch. The flour chicken will also have a nice crispy crust, and the starch will help to thicken any sauce we choose to make with the leftover fond. Over at the stove, I've got a shallow stainless pan over medium-low heat and a few tablespoons of olive oil in it. The oil is shimmering and ready for chicken, but just in case, let's test a corner of the chicken to see if the oil is sufficiently hot. And yeah, that's perfect. The chicken is going to shallow fry on one side for a few minutes, and it'll be ready to flip over when the chicken releases on its own. If you give the pan a little jiggle, they should come loose, and if they don't, you might not have quite enough oil in the pan, or the chicken just isn't quite ready. You can add a little bit extra oil if you need to. Flip the chicken and then cover the pan with a lid. We've just created a tiny oven, and the chicken is going to cook from all sides now. The middle of the chicken will be gently brought up to temperature while the outside browns slowly. If we were to just blast the chicken with higher heat, the outside would become overdone. Sure, the center of your chicken might be a perfect 165, but you've just obliterated all of the chicken outside of the very core of the breast. Now I know what you're thinking. Having the lid on like this does produce some steam. And if you wanted, at the end of cooking, you could let them fry a little bit, uncovered, just to crisp the skins back up. But really, you don't need to do that. Use a thermometer to check the chicken breasts every couple of minutes. We're going to take them off once they've reached 160 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll come up the rest of the way when they sit. Now you could be done here. Make a side dish or a salad and eat that, and it would be a perfect chicken breast. But you could also make a quick pan sauce with that perfect leftover fond in the bottom of the pan. It's just at the edge of burning, so let's quickly add a finely minced shallot. And that's not quite enough liquid to deglaze, so I'm going to add a little water right now before it burns. The water will evaporate out and we'll start browning our onions, no problem. Don't even worry about it. When those are browned, add about 1/3 of a cup of sherry. If you have a gas stove, turn the flame off while you add this to prevent a flame up. Good sherry, by the way, comes from the liquor store, not the grocery store. The stuff that Kroger and Walmart sells is salty and not good. If you don't have sherry, white wine works perfect. If you don't have that, don't even worry about it, water's fine. Or maybe get creative, maybe a little bourbon would do. I would definitely not do a whole 1/3 of a cup though if you were using liquor. By the way, if you want to keep your wines and stuff fresh forever, get a can of this preserving spray. You can get it on Amazon or a liquor store. Total Wine has it. Just spray a little bit in there. It's a gas heavier than air, so it sinks to the bottom, creates an airtight seal, basically, over the wine. Put the cap on, put it in the fridge. It'll stay good literally forever. Now we're going to add in some chopped sage, some thyme, a squeeze of lemon juice, a few tablespoons of butter, and we're going to let all that come together into a sauce under medium-low heat. You can also add any juice that's come out of your chicken as they're resting. Add that before the butter. Let your butter melt gently and stir to combine. This is also a good time to season with salt and pepper. It should just barely simmer like this. And if your heat is too high, your sauce will break, so be careful about that. And there you have it, perfect chicken breasts. And we made it hard on ourselves by using boneless breasts. The pan sauce adds some time and effort, and it is delicious. But you can do anything you wanted with these chicken breasts, now that you know how to make them perfectly. Thanks for watching.